Hi, I'm Rob from the Saddle Sore Ranch. Good morning, everybody. So today is Thursday, July 31st. So we're a few days out from leaving for Sturgis. We leave on Monday, August 3rd, and just getting some last minute things all put together. So the purpose of this video, this is just my final stretch, man, before I head out for Sturgis. This will be the last video that I make before we actually take off. At the end of this video, I'm going to let you guys in on a little trick that I found, a little road trip hack that I just thought was genius. Once again, this is my bike I'll be taking out. It's a 2003 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. It's pretty much all loaded up at this point, except for my clothes that I'm going to be taking. Still got to grab those. But in here, we've got my rain gear there in that plastic bag. We've got a tripod over here in this corner. And then right here, that's my drone. And then I'll get my laptop squeezed in there as well. Up on here, of course, gas can. This is my sleeping cot for when we camp. And then in here, we got my tent, we got my camping chair. I got a hammock here. Just different odds and ends. Again, most everything for camping. And as I mentioned already, the funny thing is we're not even going to be doing that much camping, but I'll tell you about that here in a minute. Down here in this bag, I got my jet boil here. This is my sleeping bag. So just miscellaneous stuff, but as you see, all the bags are pretty much stuffed. I just got to still get my clothes on there. And then I have my tank bag here. In here, just some easy access stuff that I'll have in there, waters and things like that. Wrapped up inside this little pack on the front here, I just got a Mexican blanket. I just put it in that bag in case of rain, which I don't even know that that bag is going to be 100% waterproof, but anyway, be better than nothing, so stuck it inside there. Lucky for me, I already had all the camping equipment that I had purchased years ago for another build that I did, but I'll show you that a little bit later. There is a heat warning in effect right now, so I'm not looking forward to riding through that. I went out earlier, it was 110 degrees here in Las Vegas, so hopefully we're going to leave out early enough to beat that heat. So one thing that I will say with regards to camping equipment, if you guys are out there searching for camping equipment to take on trips, search for the backpacking stuff, because that's typically what's going to give you the lightest and most compact equipment. So everything that I bought, luckily I bought for backpacking. So, you know, when you search on Amazon or Google or whatever, search backpacking camp stove or backpacking camp chair, and you'll get the smallest, lightest results most of the time, which makes it a whole lot easier when you're on a motorcycle. Of course, in my truck there, it doesn't really matter, but at least I did have the foresight to do that when I bought the stuff, which works well for motorcycle trips. Riding since I was 14 years old. I've got a lot of miles on a motorcycle. Not as many as some of these guys like Scooter Tramp Scotty or people like that. But you know, for your average guy, I'm up there in miles. But what I haven't done, with only a couple of exceptions, are big cross-country trips. Now, I've done a few. I've ridden from, well, I wouldn't say this is cross-country, but multi-state anyway. I've ridden from Orlando, Florida, up to North Carolina. I've done from Florida, I did the Tail of the Dragon, Blue Ridge Parkway, Skyline Drive. I've ridden to Sturgis before. So like I said, there have been a few exceptions, but not many. So this trip's going to be quite different because we don't know when we're coming back. We know we leave on Monday, August 3rd, and we've got a route planned and things we want to see and things we want to do, but there really is no return date. And so that's why there's so much camping gear on my bike, even though we're not really going to be camping a whole lot. There are going to be instances where we're not going to have a choice. And so because of those unknowns, that's why I'm taking so much camping gear. And I may not even use it. I don't know. So we'll just have to see how the trip goes. All right, here we are. Time to bring Sexy back for the trip. And just like that, I'm sexy and I know it. What up? So I bought this cheap-ass GoPro knockoff action camera thing, and the handlebar mount that it came with is only up to 1 inch. Well, I got 1.25 inch bars, so stopping by Home Depot, get some longer screws for the mount. And also for the knockoff GoPro that I bought, I also need to get a micro SD card reader because mine took a dump. So here to get that. If anybody is interested in seeing what our planned route is from Vegas up to Sturgis, I'm going to leave a link to my Google Map route that I created down in the links below. There's actually going to be two. One of them is just a trip from Vegas to Sturgis. And then the other one is what we plan on doing while we're in Sturgis. And then as we leave and head over towards Yosemite. I believe our last stop on the map at this point, which has changed several times, by the way, but the link will always bring up the updated one for you. But anyway, once we leave Sturgis and head over towards Yellowstone, our last stop is Cody, Wyoming. And then from there, again, as I said, that's where I don't know. We might go over to Idaho. We might go over into California. We might come back over into Colorado. I mean, I just don't know. So, but at any rate, I will leave those links in the descriptions below. And while you're down there in the descriptions, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell as well, because I will be doing daily videos of this trip. So that way you'll get to tag along with us and see everything we do along the way. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started building out this truck. It's a 2001 Tahoe that I got, and it was bone stock when I bought it. And I added a 6-inch full suspension lift. I added the wheels, the tires. Up on top there, I put a solar panel and a roof rack, and outfitted the inside to be able to camp in. And that was for either when I went to other motorcycle events and I had a lot of stuff I had to carry. Maybe I set up a vendor booth or an information booth on the Saddle Sore Ranch, things like that. So, and again, so I could camp inside when I go. And also, you know, if I wanted to take my own just camping trips or overlanding trips, off-roading, things like that. So that's kind of what I built up that vehicle for. And that's why I bought all the camping stuff. So for the past several weeks, I've been watching a buttload of videos on motorcycle camping, Sturgis trips, things like that. I've watched videos from Scooter Tramp Scotty, Dirty Motorcycle Vagabond. I've also watched a lot of videos from Fern over at FTW. At the beginning of the video, I told you guys that I was going to let you in on a hack that I found on somewhere watching some of these YouTube videos that I just thought was awesome. Well, here it is. I'm taking just your basic pliers and adjustable wrench, and I am taking stuff to change my oil if I need to do that, like I said, since we don't know when we're coming back or where we're going. But the coolest hack that I found that I told you guys about was this. So basically what it is it's an old expired debit card or I don't know, some kind of card wrapped in duct tape. Okay, and I actually did two of them, black and white, so that way I can color coordinate. But having duct tape on a trip with you like this can certainly sometimes be a savior. Instead of carrying that big, huge ass roll of duct tape that takes up so much room, these are just so convenient, man. This is such a cool little hack. Even if you take a roll of duct tape that doesn't have a whole lot left on it, it's still big and bulky. And on a trip like this, on a motorcycle, I mean, your space is precious, you know what I mean? And you got to do everything you can to minimize. So I just thought this was awesome. You know, it also dawned on me, although this is not necessarily a new channel, I haven't really put the channel out there a whole lot. So I'm going to start doing more content. So it dawned on me that I never really introduced the channel and let you guys know what the channel's all about. So I live in Las Vegas, but I own an off-grid property down in Golden Valley, Arizona, which is between like Kingman and Laughlin, Nevada. Big property, 40 acres. It's all set up for parties. We've got 3 outdoor bars, a few stages, plenty of room for RVs. I mean, it's boondocking, it's off-grid, it's very primitive. But it's a spot where we just go and have parties and campouts. So that's what the Saddle Sore Ranch is. And so this channel, I'll be uploading content showing upgrades that we do out there to the property, new stuff that we build. I'll upload some videos on some of the parties that we have out there. And then also on some of the adventures that I go on, whether it's on the motorcycle or whether it's in my truck. Camping, to other motorcycle events or music festivals. So a little bit of everything like that. So if you're into travel videos and adventures and motorcycle trips, motorcycle camping, overlanding camping, music festivals, things like that, then go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when our next video comes up. I do want to send a special thanks to my buddy Bryce, who's actually paying for this trip and just allowing me to tag along with him. I want to give a shout out to my wife and my son for allowing me to go and be gone for an indefinite period of time without giving me too much of a headache about it. I want to thank Motorcycle Tire Center here in Las Vegas for hooking me up with a set of tires for the trip. And also want to thank my wife for letting me use her Hilton employee discount so we can get some pretty good prices on hotels, which without that, this trip would not have been possible either. So thanks again. Like I've mentioned before, in the description below, I will be linking our Google Map preliminary route that we're taking. And then also, I will link our Amazon shop for some of the camping gear that we use. We do get a couple of pennies on something if you buy it from us there. But anyway, it's a lot of the camping gear that I've ordered and I personally use. And I will also include a link to our Sturgis and Beyond t-shirts. We have a really cool design for the t-shirts too. So if that kind of stuff interests you, check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next video.